So the common belief is that the console ban came about because parents complained too much about, their kids' minds rotting from video games. But in actuality, it was the year 2000, and even though arcades had largely died out in the West, they were still very popular in Asia. And a lot of them were illegal, and kids were going to them, and they were kind of seedy. And so the the Ministry of Culture and the Economic Trade Commission and the Ministry of Public Security, among several other branches of China's government, legislative government, came together and created this crusade to shut down all these illegal arcades to preserve the minds and futures of their children so that they won't be corrupted by the influence of arcade games. But when these branches of government came together to write the ban, to ban arcade games, it covered all forms of foreign electronic digital entertainment, which covered consoles too. With that in effect, that's the reason that consoles never really took hold in China, and instead PC gaming, where a lot of people went to internet cafes where they would pay for time, an hour or so on playing on PCs. And that's why they're all these free-to-play games, because people play according to how much time they're going to spend at the internet cafe. That's not to say that the ban didn't apply to internet cafes, because there is a line in the law that implies that internet cafes aren't allowed to have video games either. It's just that nobody enforced it. So that's why PC gaming became such a hit, and why mobile gaming is such a hit right now too. So when the ban includes a loophole in it where all foreign entertainment electronics are banned from China, except with the condition that it helps trade. And a lot of companies have tried to exploit that little loophole, saying that we want to do this as a trade contract. And chief among them is Sony with the PlayStation 2, which coincidentally released around 2000 when the ban went into effect. So in 2004, Sony tried to had like a soft launch release of the PlayStation 2 in China, but it hit all these roadblocks. It was originally going to launch in 5 cities, but it got cut down to 2, Shanghai and Guangzhou. And in case that wasn't enough, there was also the Ministry of Culture that has to okay everything. The ministry is basically the censorship bureau for China, and they won't allow anything that seems vaguely pornographic, anything that seems seditious, anything that's too violent or gory. It all gets the no stamp. You don't read too much about the PlayStation 2's success. It wasn't exactly what you would call a success, because the third thing that happened was that China maintains very high tariffs for imports. So the PlayStation 2 sold in China was prohibitively expensive compared to the PlayStation 2 in the West or any other country. But it ended up on the black market, and people bought it from there, and it didn't have the restrictions of being, and they could pirate games for it. Basically, they could pirate games for it. They got the console off the black market. They pirated games for it, and they were happy with that. And I should also mention that the marketing campaign for the PlayStation 2 really spelled out that it was the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system, with the implied emphasis on computer, so that it would try to shunt the perception that it's a video game, just a video game console, away from that.